Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and in this video I am super excited to be sharing with you guys my top 10 favorite fragrances for the spring of 2017, and this is going to be the designer edition, so definitely make sure to stay tuned. Now, a lot of you probably know that spring is not my favorite season because whenever I think of spring fragrances, I think of citrus compounded with florals. And I'm not a huge fan of florals. I mean, the only florals that I really care for are like orange blossom, rose, and iris. So we're gonna have to be very creative with this list, but I'm super excited to tell you guys what my favorite fragrances are. And this is just my list. These are fragrances that I have in my collection of over 600 fragrances. I have smelled thousands. I've been in the game for a long time. So let's go ahead and start it off with my number 10. Now my number 10 is a tried and true fragrance. I've had this one in my collection for a very long time, although I do own the reformulated version. Many times I almost bought the pre-formulation, but I always said to myself, you know what, the smell isn't that different that I have to go back and buy the original formulation. But this one by Christian Dior is called Dior Homme. You can tell that in the past few years I have worn a lot of this stuff. Olivier Polge, the recent formulation is credited under Francois Demachy, who is the in-house perfumer for Christian Dior now. This one smells like iris and it smells like lipstick. The next fragrance on this list is another one that I've had, and I've been sporting this for the past few years. This one by Chanel is called Allure Homme Edition Blanche. Now with this fragrance, a lot of people say it smells like a lemon meringue pie, and I definitely have to agree with that. It's lemony, it's creamy, it has that sweetness underneath, tonka bean, very versatile. It also gets a lot of compliments. And this next one is a fragrance that I like to wear in place of Carolina Herrera CH for men, because this one has that sugary sweet opening, but it's a little bit more transparent, a little bit more aqueous, and I think it's a little heavier on the musk too. This one by Abercrombie & Fitch is called First Instinct. Pretty cool bottle that we have here. And then the next one on this list is one that I have been wearing since I was, I want to say in high school. I've been wearing this one for a very long time. And this is actually my third bottle of it, and I have several of the flankers. I'll go ahead and name them in a bit. But this one is called Prada's Infusion D'Homme. This one actually smells like a very crisp, clean bar of soap. A clean bar of soap? That doesn't even make sense. Anyways, it smells like a bar of soap. It smells like what you would smell like after you put soap on yourself. It just has a very sort of clean, soapy quality. I know I've heard people say it smells like a very expensive hotel bar of soap. I would have to completely agree with them. It's fantastic, and I own so many of the flankers. Infusion de Vetiver, Infusion de Iris, Infusion de Tuberose, and I also am super excited to own Infusion d'Amande. My good friend Carlos has done a review of that one. Next one on this list is one that has gotten a ton of hype, and for very good reason. It's one of my wife's favorite fragrances on me. When her father, my father-in-law, came to town, this is all he wore, and I'm gonna need a new bottle of this very soon. This one by Paco Rabanne is called Invictus Aqua. You can tell how much I've worn. I have less than 50% left. It's the two things that women love, sweet scents and aquatic scents. Merge them into one, there is the end result. Gets a ton of compliments. And this next one I actually bought from my good friend Renee many years back, and I have been wearing it ever since. I went on a trip to Canada a few years back. I wore this one, and for that reason it has very nostalgic components to it. This one by Hermès is called Un Jardin sur le Nil, and it means a garden on the Nile. It's very sort of aqueous, transparent. It has some vegetal qualities in there. It's leafy, it's green, it's herbal. It's a great scent, and Jean-Claude Elena does a wonderful job with all of the fragrances from the Hermès line. This next one, the counterpart of which was actually the number one in my niche list. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I don't know which video I want to release first. But this one is a popular alternative to a very expensive fragrance, one that is selling for about $425 for the 3.4 ounce bottle. And yes, the company is recently going to implement a bottle size change. This one is by Armaf. It's called Tres Nuits, and this is the designer version of Creed's Green Irish Tweed. Those of you who know that scent know that it is the king of spring. You have lemon verbena, you have violet. It's fresh, it's uplifting, but it's very gentlemanly at the same time. This is the designer counterpart, but for a much cheaper price. So guys, if you're looking to get this one, I'm gonna leave all the links down below to where you can purchase them. And I think this one is still selling for very cheap, so definitely make sure to get your bottle. The next one on this list is one that when it first came out, people weren't really praising it. They weren't singing high praise for it. I reviewed it. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10. I saw what it was aiming to do. And the first day that I bought this fragrance, I got one of the craziest unsolicited compliments. I was actually at Old Navy. I'm not going to get into that now. But this one by Christian Dior is called Sauvage. And this fragrance, it's ambroxan, it's pepper, it's citrus. It, once again, composed by Francois Demachy. And this one, I can't even tell you how much I enjoy this. I just feel great every time I wear it because I know people around me are going to love it. I know I'm going to get a ton of compliments. And for that reason, I wear it with confidence and I wear it with pride. And number 2 on my list is a fragrance that I wish I had purchased. This actually is not my bottle, so I'm including it in this list. This is Carlos's bottle, so very big shout out to you, Carlos. Thank you for lending me this bottle so that I can review it. I'm gonna leave his information down below. He's a fellow reviewer. This one is Valentino Uomo Intense. Amazing. It has iris, leather, vanilla, tonka bean, clary sage. Very dense, very sophisticated, but it also has that Christian Dior nuance. If you're wearing this one, Dior Homme, in the daytime, this is the one that you need to wear at nighttime. And I don't even need to mention that the presentation is stellar. And number 1 on this list is a fragrance that, and this is why this list is so personal, right? Because I actually wore this one last summer when I went on a cruise with my wife and her parents. And I wore this one almost every single day, every single night. Every time I smell it, it reminds me of being on vacation. This one was composed by Natalia Graciaceto, and it was done for the house of Francis Cruchon. It was done for the house of Jean-Paul Gaultier, which has a lot of fragrances composed by Francis Cruchon, but this was a nice deviation from the line. And this one is called Le Malt Popeye Eau Fraîche. What a great scent. You have mint. It has this bubblegum feel to it, but it also has a lot of the vanilla from the original. Very different composition from the original Le Malt, but this one is bright, it's fresh, it's citrusy, it has a sweetness to it. It has a really nice mint note that doesn't smell like mouthwash or toothpaste or Vicks Vapor Rub. It just works so well in there. It's blended so nicely. I would highly recommend you guys check this out if you haven't already done so. And I know this year they're releasing another summer version. It's actually called Le Malt Superman. So it has the same exact note breakdown, same perfumer, so it might very well be the same exact scent, but I'm gonna hold that thought until I get a chance to smell it for myself. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. That was my top 10 favorite fragrances for the spring of 2017, and this of course was the designer list. So if you guys have owned or tried any of these fragrances, let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, if you want to purchase any of these scents, I'm going to leave the links down below to where you can do so. And guys, please don't forget to subscribe for future videos, and don't forget to enable notifications. Remember, I smell well so you can smell good. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care.